Yeah, this is fine. This'll do. How's this? Oh yeah, good microphone. Good microphone quality. Quality shit here. Hi. I'm Ethan. This is Galactic Cowboys tab, technically. Psychotic Companion by Galactic Cowboys off the Machine Fish album. Great album, great song. Was asked about tabs for this song. There is a tab online, and I've got it right here. If I click the right thing, there we go. So here it is here. It says pay no attention to the top two strings because this is on a 4-string bass and drop D tuning. So this is technically a bass tab. It still works. It's still the same riff. You're just not getting any chords in there, but you're getting the roots of the chords, so it's fine. There's only one mistake that I can tell in it, and I'm not 100% sure on it, but it sounds like it to me, and I didn't really dwell on it very much. But I'll go through it when I get there. So the intro riff, drop D. So that right there is not 15 bend. It's actually 14 bend to 15 and just 14. It's straight chromatics all the way down, except you skip the octave. I'll go to a better view here. So you got, that's my 12th fret right there. You can see the side dots, but I've got no fret markings. It doesn't really matter. You got the tabs here. You know what's going on. You'll be able to figure it all out. But really, this is the worst guitar for showing people things or playing live, and people are looking at your hands going, what chord is that? Like, what is that? You don't know. You don't even see the end of the neck here or up there to be able to tell what is and isn't the end of the neck. So, kind of a dumb idea. I know. Let me get this a little bit better there. A little better. All right. So, 14th fret, bend up to 15. Then just vibrato on all these notes. 14, 13, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Like so. That's an F on the 3rd fret, and it's a G sharp on the 6th fret of the low D string. Not a lot of palm muting, nothing in any of the intro riff, nothing in the verse riffs except for the second verse, where everything is heavily, heavily palm muted, and there's some overdubbed guitars, probably with a fuzz, that are just big, big, big sounding, but it's all heavily palm muted. So that's the first mistake I'm seeing in the tabs. There's your 3, 6. That's F and G sharp. And then the verse riff, it shows it as. Which sounds right when you're playing it here, but when you play it along, well, when I played it along with the recording, it sounded like it should be chromatic. 4-5-6, not 3-5-6. So that's how I did it. Whether or not it's 100% accurate to the original, not 100% sure. Play it along and listen to it. And if that first chord sounds wrong, then it's there. Not a huge big deal there in the difference between them. Also, because the second one is chromatic, there's a possibility the first one's chromatic too. But I don't think it was. I think it was. So I think it's that. So that's what I did on my recording. Verse does that a couple times, then does a big F chord and a G chord, which is 5th fret, which is right over here. I do that G chord when I do drop D, and I want the big open kind of normal position G chord that you would play like this. I do it here. you're fretting the 5th fret, ignoring the A string, open, 3, ignoring the top string. You can bar that top string if you want. If you want to get that in there. I generally don't. Top string's usually muted for me. Why? Because I pull my E string out of tune all the time, and there's nothing worse than playing live and getting this weird warble from your big chord where you're like, yeah! And you're like, what is that? What's warbling? What's all out of tune? It doesn't sound good. Everything's the same until the pre-chorus. So the pre-chorus is C to F, B flat to E flat. F, G sharp. And you take a C sharp. I do it here. C sharp power chord. And mute it heavily. You can also do that at the 11th fret. So it's nice big D chord. This was the arpeggiation that you were asking about. I'm going to bring up my page here just because I can't remember. I've been having a couple of Galactic Cowboys discussions on there with like 3 people. So I just want to get your name right. That's all. And I'm going to say your name is Brangy Spad. Could be Spad. Could be Bran G Spad. We're just going to call you Bran. All right, Bran. I like Bran. Bran's good for you. A lot of fiber in Bran. So need tabs on the arpeggiated chords and the solo. So arpeggiated chords, let's go. The chorus is here. Now notice their bass tabs only have the roots, but the roots are helpful here. So the roots are the E, or the D rather, C, stop, D rather, C, the D, open D. Next chord's an A. Next chord's a C. Riff, then another big D, another big A. Now this time, right, he actually doesn't have the tab right. It's actually in the bass, it's an F. But on the guitar, he's still playing the C. So you can play that F in here because all you got to do is fret between these 2 strings. Or you can do it like this. I don't tend to do that. On my recording, I didn't do that. I just let the bass handle that low F. I continue to play the C. And then that's how it ends, which is another B flat to E flat. First fret power chord in D. So that's all it is with the actual chords. Now to arpeggiate them. The first chord to D sus2 suspended E over the D, so it's seemingly out of tune there. I feel like now we're in. B's out. B is a funny one with this, you'll see, but your B string will always sound out of tune by the nature of your guitar, where your guitar is but when you play this A, it's a little warbling, a little out of tune. So D sus2, A sus2, so it's O 2 2 here. Why don't I just write these out in tab here? Move a couple lines down here. And we've got first chord is a D. I know, this is riveting, isn't it? Writing out tab like this. But hey, you wanted it, you got it. And then you should know what an A major is. You should. You should. If you don't, you should. Then we got a C, plain old. And actually, I'm going to do it this way. Oops. Am I doing it right? No. Why isn't that a line? I guess technically that is a C major 7? Is that right? Yeah, it's a C major 7 chord. The only reason I know that is because that's the one odd note that's in it. That's what makes it a major 7. And C. Is there So there's your chords right here in tab. So we've got the D sus2, the A sus2 to the A major. So it's just the C major 7. Now you're not using that pinky yet. Then you bring it in. So that's really all of the tablature in there. Let me get a cleaner. Oh, you know what? What if I pull my distortion pedal off? It's not very clean. What are we at on the gain on the amp? Pull this out. Pull that out. That I did the F in there. So that's how you would do that. That chord, if I tabbed that out, it's the same as the C chord. With a big old F in the chat. I mean, F in the bass. So yeah, that's what we got. That's what we're working with. Give me back my distortion. Now, bring up Cubase. I can get rid of this guy now. So that's all the tabs of the song. I mean, technically, I can get rid of these right now and show you my Cubase session. I use an old version of Cubase because it works. It really, really works. Guitar solo-wise, really all I'm doing is jamming in D pentatonic. Even though it's a D major. Or D minor, I mean. So there's that kind of minor. But there's chromatics throughout it. You play both the major 3 and the minor 3. So that if this is, let me bring that camera back here. That's the one I want? Yeah. So actually, we'll do this one. So you got that's the note that makes it major. That's the note that makes it minor. So in your scale, an E makes it major, but an E flat makes it minor. E flat, there's your E. There's a minor. So you're playing E minor, or E flat rather. That's the major third, minor third. So you're playing all the notes in there. So really, you're not stuck to a key. That's the fun part about it, is you're not stuck to a key. So solo wise, let me come over to, where are the solos? 1, 2. There's the solos. So let us just do the solo in here. Let's see if we get this running through the audio. Now I'll clean that up a little bit there, because in my solo, in here in the plugin, everything I'm doing is in the box, by the way. Right now I'm plugged into an amp, but everything on all of these songs is all plugins in the box. So it's all amp simulators. So let's pull the delay off of that. Let's pull the reverb off of that. We'll leave the stereo effect on there. It's just a little modulation to make it sound kind of stereo-wise, since it's a mono signal in the center. And all I'm really doing at the beginning So all I'm really doing there is it's a blues lick. I don't know who came up with it first, but Wally Farkas and Ty Tabor both do this type of thing, where there's your pentatonic. Well, you do that. That's your root. That's your D. Now take that 13th fret that you're bending up a whole step and bring it down to the 12th, but keep it bent up a whole step. So you're dropping the pitch by a half step. That descending line, because you're doing that, which is technically mixolydian, since you're using that note and technically using the major 7th, which makes it kind of sound harmonic minor. You can also use the flatted 5th in there. And then it's all kind of blues scaly, but you're not stuck to major or minor. You can do whatever you want. So there's a lot of that that's in there, just kind of doing whatever I want. Just that kind of thing where it's all right there in a 10th fret box. Yeah. So it's all the same kind of pentatonic box licks, you know, but bringing in, instead of, which is diatonic to minor, and I realize it's difficult without the dots, but I'm trying to keep the box. So using that. That kind of thing. So that's all I'm doing in the beginning is just kind of holding that. There's some hybrid picking licks that are in there, which is plucking with my middle finger. You can pick it with your pick if you want, but it requires string skipping, and I just like using the hybrid picking lick. In the second solo, this really comes in handy because the hybrid picking lick really starts to shine with, I call it the Richie Kotzen lick, but Jason Becker did it, Greg Howe did it, Paul Gilbert did it. I'm sure lots of other people. I've seen Nuno Betancourt do it. I've seen Zach Wilde do it. Really, really cool lick that you can burn super fast licks with, and it just sounds like a hell of a lot when it really isn't. So coming down off of that, there's just using the wah to create noise. Because we're in the key of D, behind it is the riff that's chromatic. Any note goes. So I'm trying to just get a lot of open strings in there coming from here. So that's just... I think that's what I did in there, tapping just 0, 5, 7, 12. But I could have... don't think I did any of that. It's just kind of noodling around, and it's just noise, just a way to make open strings do something. And that's a 15th fret on the E string, which is still in that pentatonic mode. Kind of stock pentatonic box licks. So it's just, I ended up on that with the wah back, so it sounded like neck pickup going. I don't know. End on the major third. I'm sorry, end on the 2, the second. So I did something like that. That's 13th fret E bent up to the 15, so up a whole step. Is all that lick is there. That's a Steve Lukather thing for me, where you take your note and a lot of half-step bending stuff, like a really cool Steve Lukather thing is. That's kind of where I get that from, which I assume is a Jeff Beck thing, because Steve Lukather got a lot from Jeff Beck. All the coolest bits of Steve Lukather's style, in my opinion, comes from Jeff Beck. He's got a ton of influences and a lot of great guitar players in him. But I didn't listen to Jeff Beck growing up. Just was not my era, and he was kind of a dark horse player. Like I never had a Jeff Beck album. But I'd see a few licks here and there. Jeff Beck Guitar Shop came out when I was a kid. Really, really cool stuff, but I didn't really follow it. I got my Jeff Beck the same way I got my Jimi Hendrix and my Eric Clapton. I got it secondhand. I get Eric Clapton from Eddie Van Halen. I get Jimi Hendrix from Stevie Ray Vaughan and Eric Johnson. I get Frank Zappa from Steve Vai. So I get all these guys secondhand, second generation, and then you can go back and listen to their other guys and go, oh, that's where that came from. So yeah, second solo. Unison bends. So all that is the root. That's 10th fret box. Just unison bend. Down a whole step. down a half step. So that's 10 on the top string. 8. 7. Technically, we would go down another whole step to 5, but I do it here at the 12th fret with the 10. Again, thinking in the box. And then... Oops, gotta do it right here. And that's just a fancy way to go. Just with a little grease. And then all that is that on the G string, 10, 12, 13, 10 on the E string, string skipping. But I'm doing it with the pinky or the middle finger hybrid picking. Then for that one little phrase where there's a burst of speed in it, just pick that. And that's all it is, and it comes out of it. Something like that out of it. Something like that. Just blues licks down. That other lick, I think I start on. All that is this is the lick I was talking about. You take let's do it from the box. So it's 10th fret on the B, 13th fret on the B, and you pluck the 13th fret on the E. And then you pick the 13th fret on the B and pull off to the 10. Simple. When you do one spot, it's not. Nice little fast way to get up and down. But when you move it, just move it around and you get this blurring. Get some really fast blazing licks out of it just by trying to keep it in time and just, do some really fast blinding licks that make it sound like something cool. And it's really something simple. And that is just a... I did it here though. Little extra string noise in it because I want... A little wild. All that is. Open G string licks where you're sliding on the D string beneath it. Unison at the 5th fret. 9th fret on the D. 10th fret. That's all it is just making some noise on that. Thinking of it like you'll hear a guitar player go like, and it'll bend that with the wah. You can get some really cool noises and effects as those two notes rub against each other from out of tune. That's from a half step below on the 4th fret on the D string. There's in tune, but want a little rub. Just want that rub of this warble and this noise going on. That is just blues licks going. Because we're in minor. That's an A minor. Arpeggio that's there. That's 12th fret on the A, 10th on the D, 9th on the G. So what I'm doing there is, again, hybrid picking. I end up noodling around in the blues scale till I'm on that E note on the G string, which is a 9th fret, and then I'm plucking that, picking the 10th fret, using my pinky to hammer. While you're doing that, you just sweep the wah. You get this kind of wah as it opens up and closes. So that's all this is. And then I pull it down a whole step, but make it major. Something like that, blues scale coming back up. Which is 19 to 15 on the E, 19 on the B, and 15 on the B. I'm thinking of it like I'm just skipping the middle note. Because my target is to get to this A box shape at the 17th fret. So 17th box. That's all I'm trying to get to is there. So I'm aiming up to that. That's all I'm trying to get to. So I think I came down. Something like that is what it is. And then some at the... And what I'm trying to get there is I wanted the note, but I wanted to get that George Lynch kind of thing where you pick a note, you get underneath the string below it, so you get both strings going together. I missed it a couple times, so I had to what I call reloading. So I want to is what I want, but if I get and it's not there, just reload again. Just trying to get the grip of the... Try to get it. No. Try it again. There it is. So now just hang on to it. Pick it fast. Make noise. And the same thing there was just a... And then noise coming down. Just... That ended up just purely because I'm trying to make noise coming down off of that A pentatonic. So I ended up with, which is 16, 17, 21. In other words, it's not really harmonic. Well, it's harmonically right. It's in there, but it's just a way to make some noise while the wah's going crazy at the end of the song while there's samples and stuff going. It's just a way to make noise. Ending lick out of that. And end up on it. Something like that. End on a D minor. That's all I tried to do. So that's the solo. That's everything that's in it, how I did it. How about a playthrough? I'll just do a playthrough of it. I'll mute the solo. And I'll just mute all the guitars. Just mute the guitars. Where's my click count? Actually, I don't need a click because I got the bass guitar. A lot of that distortion you're hearing on the track is actually the 8-string bass. Got a clear 8-string here. One distorted, 2 distorted. So let's just play through it here and see. I'm soloed. Try that again from here. so you can see it. One more time. One more go. I'll get it right. I'll get in there. Intro riff. Just like the chorus, so we're going to do an A, C, Yeah. I hope that helped. Hope that's got everything you need in it. And, yeah. Got any other questions? Hit me up on a comment. I'll record a video of that too. Thanks. Bye.